Yes, we are
Yay.
live. Hi, everyone,
Hello.
and welcome to Love, Sex, Jealousy, and Peace with Connor, Shreya, and myself, Annalette May.
So
Um,
am I the girl now? Is that why I went first? I always thought it was ladies first. What happened here?
well, you're the man of honor.
Oh, thanks.
Ooh,
I'm on her.
Oh my gosh. It has
Uh,
begun. So I'm going
yes.
to be sharing this. So you guys, please entertain the audience.
Okay, I'm entertaining. Shreya, help. Let's entertain
all
us.
right.
What are you doing?
Okay, so what did you ask me?
I was asking. Wait, never mind. Go ahead.
Okay, so we before we started the live, the question was, what do love, sex, jealousy, and peace have in common? So why don't you speak about that?
Well, love, sex, jealousy, and peace are active. So these are all distractor implants, and there are something like 23 of them. Personally, why love, sex, and jealousy are um, included together, but then peace also makes sense because everybody thinks that like love and peace, like love is the way to get peace, but everybody's always
Ah,
fighting when they're in love with the people they're in love with. So that's very funny also. So it's very funny because are you actually fighting all the people that you are in love with, and then you're also fighting the people that you would like to be in love with and the people that you desire to have sex with because you're jealous and so on and so forth.
that sounds quite convoluted, actually.
Right? Isn't that what love
Yeah,
feels like?
yeah, actually. Oh, that's true. I guess that's how it's a distraction then. Hmm.
Yeah. Well, it's also it's actually it's funny for me. So for anybody watching this right now, we're talking about distractor implants. If you really want more information on this, get a book from Access Consciousness Publishing called Living Beyond Distraction. Now, there's another book called also from Access Consciousness Publishing called The 10 Keys to Total Freedom. Now, like the seventh key is drugs. And the number one drug we all love the most is love. So it's like, where are you going, Annie? She's leaving. I hope she's
I'm,
doing
oh my gosh, I'm doing,
naughty things.
I am, I'm getting Living Beyond
Oh, wow, look
Distraction.
at you. There you go.
I brought it on our road trip because I am a
Nice.
very good and studious girl.
Nice.
And the
So
10 keys.
Oh, both the
there you
books.
go.
Okay.
Boom.
I only saw one. You were hiding the
I
second one.
read your mind,
I like it.
Mr.
You
Hill.
know, honestly, not that I need to say honestly, but really for me personally, those two books like are the biggest, like the most important elements in like freeing my one for me freeing myself up and two like creating my life and like actually having ease in relationships with people. Both of those books. Yeah.
Do you have something more specific to share? Like what happened when you first, or like what changed, or what your experience was like when you first read the book, or either or both?
Oh my God. The first experience would really be the 10 Keys to Total Freedom sat next to my bed for 4 years.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
I would literally read the first page and be like, oh, I can't read it. And I'd put it down. Like, what is going on? It's so funny to think about now. But like, I was like I kept having these weird thoughts in my head. Like, I say weird because I'm like, I already took Access Consciousness Foundation. I've taken like so many classes. I don't need to read that book. But I knew I wanted to read the book. But every time I picked it up, it was like the energy was like so intense. And like at the
Mhm.
time, I would have not even called it energy. I would have just been like, oh, I can't. But um, it was just, it's really like, it's funny how we have resistance to the things that will actually give us one freedom and like create more for us and create more ease and like everything. Just tons of resistance. At least me.
Yeah, it's only you. It doesn't affect any of us. None of us have
No, I'm
resistance to
sure.
things that, change
That's
stuff for us. So yeah, you're
No.
special, Connor.
Oh, I know. I'm so special. Thank you.
There you
I
go,
want to
man of
know.
honor.
Yeah, I want to know about you, ladies. Where do you notice that you're resisting things? What do you notice that you're resisting?
Hmm.
Oh, well,
I
I died. Okay, go ahead, Shreya.
No, Jenny, go ahead.
I was gonna say ladies first, but then that would mean both of us would have to go at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So,
It is a threesome. We get to go ladies first.
I was just gonna
okay.
say, Connor, wouldn't you like that?
I would. I would.
I'm already getting the Asian flush. Let me drink the rest of this. Mm, there you go.
So
So,
yeah, Annie,
Okay.
go ahead.
So I was gonna say I don't avoid love. I dive head first.
no, but
Like,
what do you resist?
oh shoot, what do I resist? That's a great question. I
Well, so when you
actually,
dive, and
um,
let's look at it this way. What are you resisting with the love you're choosing?
ooh, that's a great question. I'm resisting being actually present and in communion with people and other
Wow.
bodies.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm using love as a story to kind of get around all of that.
That's pretty much what most people do. So you are definitely not the only one. It's like most people
You're
also
not
use
special,
love
Annie.
to.
Sorry.
No. I mean, I've never used love to like cut off all of my awareness of like everything ever.
No, of course
One
not.
of one of my favorite things I ever heard Gary Douglas say was, "Love is a concentration camp," and I was like, "Oh my God, it so is."
Can you say more about that?
Yeah, I mean, how much do you sit there and you concentrate on the love that you have? You're like, I'm caught. Oh my God, I love it. It's like
Okay.
Golem in the Lord of the Rings. My precious, my precious. And you don't even right when we fall in love, like we don't even fall in love with like the actual person. We just fall in love with like the idea of love. It's like, what's their favorite ice cream? You're like, I don't. It can be anything. And then
Definitely.
and then
Yeah.
and then they go and sleep with someone else, and you're like, how could they choose that?
That's funny.
And then when you talk to the other person was like, well, that person was weird. They called me all the time. It was kind of frightening.
But they never called me all the time. I want them to call me all the time. Right? It's yeah.
So
And that's when it yeah, go
that's where
ahead.
you have are you well the biggest thing that changed a lot for me was looking at this thing of, are you willing for other people to go into a distractor implant with you?
Wow.
Are you willing for someone to be like head over heels in love with you to the point that they like someone that doesn't even know who you are? You're like,
Hmm.
I've never even met you. And they're like, oh my God, I love you, I love you, I love you. And you're like, you don't know anything about me. Oh God, I love you, I love it. And it's like, are you willing to receive that and be like, okay. Same with
Hmm.
the sex. Like, are you willing to receive people that want to have sex with you? Or are you rejecting it? Same with jealousy. Are you willing to choose the biggest thing here is the willingness to
Hmm.
choose something that puts people into a distractor implant. So like something like jealousy, will you choose something that you would like to choose knowing full well someone else is going to get jealous?
Mm-hmm.
Or do you choose to, or do you go, oh no, I don't want to do that because that person's going to get jealous?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's a limitation that you create for yourself, knowing or having the awareness that someone else is gonna.
Yep.
Oh, wow, that's
But
interesting. I never looked at it
yeah,
that way.
but people use the distractor implants to control you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you have to also look at yourself. Where am I using? I mean, you don't have to, uh, but it's extremely useful to look at yourself and going, where am I using the distractor implants to try and control others?
Yeah.
Because
And
especially when you start noticing where you use it, and you go, oh wow, I'm trying to control someone else with this distractor implant. I'm trying to control
mm-hmm.
someone else with, I mean, typically with these, we try to control ourselves, but maybe
Yeah.
you are choosing love to try and control someone else. And if you notice that you try to choose love in order to be like, well, now they need to choose love for me too, and this is how I get to control them, because now that we're in love, that means, you know, we give our lives up for each other. And if I want to go to, you know, Steak and Shake and they want to go to McDonald's, we make sure we go to where I want to go because we're in love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or like, well,
So,
and now because we're in love, we're gonna go to bed at the same time and we're gonna wake up at the same time. And
oh
you know,
my
The
we'll
fairy
brush
God,
our
tale
teeth at the same
fantasies.
time.
that's kind
Yeah.
of
You
gross.
know, we'll make dinner and eat dinner tonight together every night. But this isn't just for in love too. Like love is a distractor implant for like love for your family or love if you
Mm-hmm.
have children. Like, do you
Yeah.
let people that you love walk all over you?
I did that actually.
Yeah.
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 Or for some people, choosing love means it's really looking at like, what the hell does love mean to you? Because I've met
Speak
some
more about
people.
that. Speak more
Well,
about that. I'm
I've
sorry, go
met
ahead.
some people that are, yeah, I've met some people that are like, I yell at all the people I love all the time, and I'm like, why? Why would you choose that?
Mm.
Why would you choose to yell at the people that you love?
Yeah.
What's the value in it? What does that create? Because you wouldn't choose it if you didn't think it had some value.
And how much of how we interact with people, especially when we're in love, based on our parents' point of view of what love is.
Well, it just depends on where you're functioning from. So, and really, no joke. I've read the Living Beyond Distractor book several times. I've listened to the telecall that the book was written from several times,
Mm-hmm.
and it
Yeah.
wasn't until like a month ago that I looked up. I don't even remember which distractor. I think I looked up relationship, the distractor implant
Mm-hmm.
relationship. I looked that up, and at the very beginning, Gary says these distractor implants, it's not about pushing them out of your reality. It's not about don't choose it. It's about when it shows up, asking the question, how much of this is a distractor implant? And
Yeah.
then whatever awareness you get of how much it is, pock and pod that shit. So for those of you watching out there, pock and pod that shit is essentially, it's called the clearing statement. If you want more information, it's at theclearingstatement.com, all spelled as you might imagine. And it's right and wrong, good and bad, pock and pod, all nine shorts, boys, and beyonds. So you'd go, like if you're going into a relationship and you're falling in love and you just go, how much of this is a distractor implant? Whoa. All all that shit times a godzillion, destroying, not great at all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, puck, all nine
Mm-hmm.
shorts, boys, and beyonds. I mean, no joke. I was someone that spent at least like fucking way too many years, 7 years, maybe more. Who knows? No, I had already chosen that I didn't want to do relationship for the most part. But I was like, oh, I'm not doing relationship because it's a distractor implant. But that's not the case. Like I said, it's about asking the question, how much of this is a distractor implant? So the love that you have with your parents, the love that you have with your kids, you can ask right now, how much of it is a distraction implant? And maybe it's only like 10%, but maybe it's 90, whatever, and pock and pod that shit so you can get down to what's really going on, because it's these places where we cut off our awareness of really just what somebody else is going to choose. Like
Yeah.
we love someone, so we go, oh, because I love them, that means they love me in the same way that I love them. One of my favorite movies to watch for like seeing a different point of view of love is The Truman Show.
Yeah.
Because the guy that runs The Truman Show, like there's Jim Carrey, who is like Truman, and the show is about him. The guy that runs that show is like, I love you. I've watched you since you're just like my son. Like, I've raised you. This show is like, we all love you. Everybody watching you on television loves you. I love you. It's like, and for me, my point of view, as I'm watching that movie, I'm like, but how is you love him, but you're not interested in what he wants to choose. You're just interested in what you think he should choose. But you only want him to choose what you want him to choose so you can make a fuckload of money. But you're not willing to really say that. You're just going to act like it's love. Everything that brings up for everybody times Godzilla, destroy, great it all.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, puck, all night, shorts, quiz, minutes. Now, the other thing I will say, if anyone out there in the world, and including you two ladies, since you speak English, it helps. If you don't speak English, it's really going to be difficult because I don't know if it's even translated yet. And if English isn't your first language, it's going to be extra difficult because for English speakers, this book is like everybody has a difficult time reading it. There's only a couple of people I've talked to that were like, yeah, whatever. But it's called the Alexandria Quartet.
Oh, yes.
It's a series of 4 books written from 4 different accounts of 3 different accounts of the same time period in Alexandria, and a 4th from like the future, like a later on. And the writer tends to call it an account of modern love. And for me, when I read that reading that book was like going through thousands and thousands of different variations of love. Family, like between man and woman, between man and man, between woman and woman, brothers, sisters, mother and son, like all love. And it was just like, wow. So when I read it, it took me a very long time. The first book took me 4 years to read the first time. And then it took another like 3 months after that. And the second time I didn't even know what I was reading the first time I read it. But I carried it with me for 4 years and would read what I could as I went along. And the book is just like tattered and torn because I was traveling all over the place. And and so I got like part of the way through the second book when I finally realized I could finally understand what's going on. So I went back and read the first book. And when I was reading the first book, I would literally fall asleep after reading half a page. I'd be like, I couldn't get through much before it just like knocked me out. Probably because I had way too many points of views about the way love should be. But I still think I'm right.
So, like, has anything changed about your points of views of love and maybe even sex and jealousy?
Yeah, well, jealousy, the distractor implant jealousy this is going to sound weird to all you folks out there in the world that, aren't into weird shit. especially if you're from the United States. Most other countries are okay with it. So, is jealousy is actually a cult from Saint Jealous the Divine. So all you have to do is run that clearing statement. All you got to do is go, everything I aligned and agreed with, and everything I resisted and reacted to create and buy the cult of Saint Jealous the Divine, I destroy and uncreate it all. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, on shorts, boys, guns, and it'll be gone. The only
Wow.
time I ever even have jealousy now is when I'm aware of someone else having jealousy. It's like,
Yeah, I
wait,
noticed
oh my
that.
God, I'm jealous. Oh, I'm not jealous. Oh, that person's jealous. Got it.
Yeah. So every time we experience a distractor implant, like it's really helpful to actually ask, is this even mine?
You can do both. Yeah,
Hmm.
it is very helpful. But if you ask who does this belong to, and that doesn't work to like clear things up, definitely do the POC and pod the distractor implants.
Okay.
It's like, I mean, it was like in 2017 in Africa, of all places. I don't know why it's of all places. I was getting a session with Dane, and he just looked right at me and he goes, "Yes, Mr. Walking, Talking Distractor Implant on Legs." And I was like, I know! And there are oftentimes I still feel like I'm a walking, talking distractor implant. Oh, well.
At least we can have fun with it, right?
You know,
If you're,
well, when I finally stopped trying to not, the whole thing of like not doing them, like, no, don't do them, that was not working. That made me do them more. It's like, I was like, stop doing that. It would like show it more. So, the whole thing of just asking how much of this is a distractor implant and just pocking and potting it has totally changed everything for me personally.
When you say how much of it, what does that mean? Like the way I perceive it is like, so you can love someone and it cannot be a distractor implant?
Yeah.
Oh, that's new information.
I know. Isn't that weird?
Yeah,
Feels like though, doesn't it?
it does. It actually is
Uh-huh.
super right. Wow. Oh, thank
You're
you so
you're
much for
welcome.
that.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know, it's huge. It's huge.
Like what? I just is like, it's like all of it. Like, oh, fucking bought all of it. And oh,
Yeah.
it's not that.
You're like, don't do love. Don't do love. Stop loving.
so what would be an example of when love isn't a distractor implant?
Yeah, that's a great question.
I wouldn't actually look for that.
No?
I would actually just solely go for how much of this is a distractor implant
Okay.
and POC and pod it all. Because
Wow.
when you do have love without a distractor implant, you'll know it.
Okay. Just like when you're at peace and it's not a distractor implant, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then all of a
Cool.
sudden you start loving like everything. Like, oh my God, glass bottle. Oh, I love you.
And there's really no separation from like, I love my AirPods, but I don't love,
Me too.
yeah.
Me too. Right.
So it'll
You're
just be
correct.
like everything.
The distractor implant is how we separate.
Mm-hmm.
Distractor implants. Yeah.
Wait, speak more about that.
Yeah.
Well, the second you do distractor implants, you're separating because you are distracting yourself from what you know. So you've got to separate from you in order to not know what you know.
Okay.
You don't have to
Guys,
get that right now. It's okay.
Listen
Yeah.
to this over again, and then someday you'll get it when
So
you
like,
get it.
like like bring up a situation, if you have one, either of you, where you know that you were either choosing a distractor implant or distracting yourself. Especially if you can come up with like a love, sex, jealousy, and peace one.
Wow, I have one with anger, but no. Annie, go. See if you can come up with something.
Anger is actually the easiest one to sort of pinpoint. Talk about it,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, we can talk about it.
Yeah,
Because we could
let's
also
talk
do
about
jealousy. Jealousy would actually be pretty easy too, probably.
it. Mm.
If you found the last time that you were jealous. Let's do that.
Well,
So,
mine's super easy. Okay, go ahead, Shreya.
no, I was gonna ask, like, so how is and Annie and I, like, kind of touched upon it, but, like, how is jealousy different than envy, or is it not?
It
Because there's
is.
so many things or so many people that I see, and I'm like, oh, I'd like to have that, or I'd like, like, oh
Yeah.
shit, I'm so envious of that. Like, I'd like to have that. Or am I just fooling myself and saying envious when it's actually jealousy?
No, envy is an awareness.
Oh,
Envy is your awareness of something that somebody else has that you would like.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Okay.
You
All
didn't
right.
like that, did you? There's
No,
something
I
about that you
did.
didn't like.
Because that's exactly how I perceived it. But I'm like, oh, is that correct? Is that
You're like,
right?
oh, is
Or
it too easy? I couldn't have gotten it right. There's no
yeah,
way I'm actually
exactly.
aware.
Exactly. Can I let you
No,
guys
'cause-
in on a secret? I have not even read the book or listened to the telecalls. I've
That's
listened
fine.
to 3 telecalls and I wanted to throw up and I wanted to kill everybody. And I was like, I gotta stop this. I can't do it at this point in my life. And that was
Yeah,
like
I
8 months
know.
ago. And
Yeah.
I don't have the courage to go back to it. I've been saying it for the last 3 weeks that I'm gonna start listening to the telecalls, but I just don't have the courage to do it. I'm like, it's gonna
So
fuck up my life. I'm not doing it.
what do you love about distraction?
Oh, oh, I cannot be aware. Like,
Is that
oh
really
God.
true though? Or is it that you are aware?
But like if I distract myself, if I distract myself, then I don't have to be present. I don't have to know. Someone can walk by and I won't even have any idea. Like I'm just like gone. Like I'm
Yeah,
somewhere else.
right. And that's fun for you. Why?
Oh, because my life is really boring.
Actually, let's change that question to, is that really your point of view?
What is really my point of view?
The energy of, I love distracting myself.
No, that's not my point of view.
Wow.
Oh.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Oh my God, wait, did I really say that? I said I love distracting myself? I have no clue what I just said.
You
Yeah.
didn't say I love distracting myself, but I asked you why you love distracting yourself, and you gave me a whole lot of reasons and justifications.
Oh, okay.
But
I'm gonna
the
have to
truth
listen to this
is,
again.
the truth is, you wouldn't choose distracting yourself if you didn't love something about it. So if you ask yourself, what do I love about this? And then you go blah 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 blah
Uh-huh.
blah, and then you go, is any of that even mine? Who does that belong to? Is that mine or somebody else's? Oh shit, that's not even mine.
Oh, yeah, that's super right.
Yeah.
I know, this shit is so cool. It's like, wow.
Right, and we come up with an example for one of these four since this is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, mine's just super easy. Like every time jealousy comes up, I just ask, "Is this mine?" And then I'm like, "Oh no." Because then I don't. It's just like, okay, well, so if that person's like sleeping with other people, I'm like, oh, that's okay, whatever. They're having fun.
Mhm.
So
And
yeah,
sometimes are they choosing it to try to make you jealous?
possibly yes. And then if you're not into,
So are they trying to get control of you?
yeah,
Like I said, people try to put you into these distractor implants in order to control you, which is also why if somebody is interested in putting you into distractor implants in order to control you, then you can just you don't have to necessarily like try to put someone into distractor implants. That's never my target personally. That makes me good. That means I'm a good person. Now, it's like it doesn't. It's like if you try to put someone into a distractor implant and they don't go into the distractor implant, then you're only kind of like messing yourself up slightly because you might try harder. But it's like I personally don't see any value in it. I like to say that, but I've probably done it before. But
Probably.
it's more, yeah, probably. But for me nowadays, right now, it's more about just looking at, okay, just being willing to choose what I would like to choose and being aware of whether or not someone's going to choose a distractor implant, and when and if they do, you can really disarm, quote unquote, a distractor implant that somebody else goes into just by being interesting point of view.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Okay, so this is what comes up for me. So when someone is looking for a specific reaction from you and I'm not giving them that reaction, then they try harder.
That's what
And
I
then,
mean. That's how they're messing themselves up by trying to put you into a distractor implant. You don't go into it, so they try harder to get you into the distractor implant.
but then it's exhausting for me to be around that.
Yeah, because you're not willing to choose what will make them go into a distractor implant.
Wow.
Oh. So how would I do that? Like I hear your words, but I'm like
See, because
like how
right
would I do
now
that?
you're trying, are you trying to think about how you can put someone into a distractor implant rather than just looking at what would I like to choose? And if they get all distractor implanty on me, if they get angry, if they go into love, sex, jealousy, peace is a different distractor implant because we all think that peace is actually real and it's actually going to happen someday, but it's not. True peace is awareness. But everybody does
Wow.
peace. Is that we should all just like love each other and do peace. Yeah, that's worked. Not.
Cool.
That's the place of using peace to not be aware of what's actually going to create the future you'd like to create. That's what we're looking at here. The distractor implants can get you out of this place of one, they get you out of the place where you can be, where you can just be you, where you can choose what you would like to choose. Now, a lot of people go, oh no, you shouldn't choose what you would like to choose because it's going to hurt that person, it's going to do this, it's going to do that. You can't actually hurt anybody. Only they can hurt themselves, especially when it comes to emotional things. Because it's like, I noticed any of the places where I got hurt, it was because I cut off my awareness. Oh, I wasn't willing to see that that's what that person was going to choose. But at the same time, I looked at it and went, I knew that they were going to choose that the whole time. And I kept trying to do something. I actually kept cutting me off and not being me in order to get them to choose something different. And they still chose what I knew that they were going to choose. And then I felt really terrible and shitty about it. Why? Because I'm stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes the choices that we make get us to an awareness, like, doing all the mistakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And so and that's exactly why I say just choose. So for Shreya, like you're saying, like with the people that do distractor implants in order to control you, ask for me, what has worked the greatest for me is just looking at what would I like to choose? Like in this situation, what would I like to choose? I'm gonna stop worrying about them.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna choose based on trying to piss them off or based on trying to give them a fuck you but I'm going to choose just like, regardless of what they're choosing right now and
Mm-hmm.
what they're trying to get me to choose, regardless of that, what would I truly like to choose here? Me.
Yeah.
What's my choice? How would I honor me with what I'm choosing?
That's a great question.
Um,
Yeah.
wow. So
Wow.
many like great questions, and wow. Thank you so much for like coming on with us.
My
Yeah, that was
pleasure.
super clear.
Thanks for having me.
So, I just wanted to kind of let everyone know that if you loved any of what Connor was talking about during this whole um, short 36-minute video, you can actually spend a whole month with Connor. Is the program still open?
Yeah, it'll be open until at least Friday of
Hmm.
next, like in 7 or 8 days.
Okay.
After that, I think I am gonna say Friday it closes. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So, how would
I should write
people?
that and I should write that on the phone. Close it.
Yeah, close it on Friday. So, what's today? Saturday? So you still have like almost a whole week.
Almost, yeah. Yep,
Okay,
almost.
cool.
Well, I mean, we're actually at like the back of the time zone of the world, so you do have a whole week, but anybody else that's ahead of Eastern time zone,
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
if you're watching this tomorrow when you wake up,
You have
because you're in the United Kingdom, then you
5 days,
have not a whole week. Yes.
like 5 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll probably post a link somewhere here, and then you can or get in touch with
Great.
Connor.
Yeah. Yeah, you can find me at, well, I don't know where I've got that program listed. Holy schmoly. It's called Deep Dive. I bet if you Google Deep Dive with Connor or Deep Dive with Connor James Hill, something along those lines, it'll probably show up. And
Okay.
if not, just ask Annie. She'll point you in the right direction. Or Shreya.
Yes, I will send you guys links. So, and also we're gonna be doing like more of these calls with like different facilitators and all about love, sex, jealousy, and peace. So just join the Love, Sex, Jealousy, and Peace Facebook group somewhere. And do you guys have anything to say? Like a last sentence or two, tips,
Well,
anything?
thank you for this. Thank you for coming on, and thank you for talking about it. It motivates me to read the book, so I'm looking forward to it, or listen to the telecults and fuck up my life all over again. So we'll see which one I choose.
You might be more brilliant than you're giving yourself credit for, Miss Shreya.
Hmm. Okay, I'll receive that. As uncomfortable as it makes me. So yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies.
All right. So any last words
Um,
from Mr. Connor?
we did jealousy, we did peace. I guess we didn't actually cover sex all that much. You were so ready to talk about sex. We didn't even go there. Oh, I would say,
We don't
please
have
bring
to.
me
We don't have
on
to end the call. Hold
again.
on. We don't have to end the call. You
This
can
is true.
totally talk about it. I come from a culture where we don't speak about it, so you could
I
totally,
know.
we could just extend this because Annie doesn't really
I
have to end it. So
I think you both come from cultures where you don't speak about it, so it's probably why we were able to jump around it, even though it's capitalized. And he's
So
like,
is
I don't come
peace.
from a culture. I'm from New Jersey.
I tell everyone I'm from New York. From New
Yes.
York.
New York. New York.
wait, Connor, have you heard Dane's joke about New Jersey?
Uh-uh.
Wait, you really haven't? He like says it in every class, or at least every class that I think I've been to. Annie, you want to say it?
Enlighten me.
Okay. So I finally figured out why New Yorkers are so depressed. It's because the light at the end of Lincoln Tunnel is New Jersey.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, I actually don't think I have. Maybe I've been asleep or getting my bars run or something at that time period. I really like that. I'm a big fan.
So, Katrina Phillips says, thank you so much. Yeah, I'll just see. I want to see if I can post it on here. Thank you
Oh
so
my
much.
God, that's really cool. How do you
And
do that?
smiley face from
Timothy,
Timothy.
cool.
And still, sex is somewhere else. I don't actually understand. I don't get that comment. Can someone explain it to
Which one?
me?
I think
Which one?
she's saying like we're still not talking about sex, right?
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah,
that what it is?
exactly. That's exactly what they're saying. That's exactly what Timothy's saying. He's like, all this talk about sex, and now you're still not talking about sex.
Okay, so
Well,
let's address it. Wait, hold on. So let's address it. So Eddie, well, I'll just speak for Annie in this case, but Annie and I are both women, and we're supposed to be shy and coy and not talk about it. And we come from cultures where we don't speak about it. So Connor, why don't you enlighten us?
What would you like to know?
is your face red from the alcohol or?
Mine?
Yes.
Or from
I
being the
laid
man of
out in the
honor?
I laid out in the sun today. It was great. It
Okay.
was like getting
So
my
did
bars run. I was
we.
like, oh.
I actually ran Shreya's bars at the beach today.
Oh my God. Can you guys come
Freaking
here and run my
awesome.
bars?
You could drive to Virginia Beach and we'll run your bars.
Yeah, it's like, how long would that take? 20 hours?
We're still here. We're here for another 4 days.
There you go. I'll be there
Yeah,
tomorrow.
exactly.
Yeah.
But you can't until you talk about sex.
Okay. Well, this is a side note. This isn't in the book, Living Beyond
Mhm.
Distraction. But do you know where the word sex comes from?
I don't.
It originally it derives from sect, like
Okay.
which is the Latin word for separate.
Like a section, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
how fucking weird is that?
It's
And
Yeah.
how many
very
of us
weird.
out there are trying to? How many of us are out there trying to have sex in order to get together all the time? With it has everything to do with separating from the other person.
Wow.
That's just a little side note. That's not really how it works with a distractor implant. But sex as a distractor implant is where we think sex has to do with having sex, like copulating, or we think sex or we think sex is our sexuality. We're like, I only have sex with women because blah 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 blah, which is crazy. Like like to me, the best way to describe sexuality, which is like all based on judgment, is to say like the way we do sexuality on this planet typically is go, I only have sex with women, or I only have sex with men, or I only have sex with women, and that's a girl talking, whatever it is. Rather than, and it's not, it's this energy of like separating from everything that doesn't fall into
Mhm.
place with the thing that you've decided you will have sex with. Um, what if it was like food? Do you judge McDonald's, or do you just go, I'm not eating there because that's not going to taste good? It's like,
Mhm.
do you want to eat hot dogs or do you want to eat tacos? It's just a choice. In food world, I love both hot dogs and tacos. In bodies world, huge fan of tacos. Love me some tacos. Not as much of a fan of hot dogs. You know? What do you like the taste of? What if that's where you went when you thought of sex?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the
So
choice of it and what works for you and what you
yeah,
prefer.
yeah. So sex is really about receiving. Like in the world of distractor implants, when we talk about it, it's like true sex as the not a thank you. What am I not willing to receive? Exactly. What are you not willing to receive? It's like sex, true sex is just like walking tall, like you're going out through the world, you're having fun, like you're not thinking, you're just like everything's just fantastic, and people are like, oh wow, who's that person? And you're really just receiving everything and everyone and enjoying life and living.
Yeah.
What we tend to do is we do the distractor implants of sex, which are I want to have sex with that, I want to have sex with that person. Sex is copulation. The only time I can receive from someone is if I'm having sex with them. I won't receive from somebody if I won't have sex with them. But we tend to determine who we're not willing to receive from based on whether or not we're willing to have sex with them.
Mm-hmm.
What if you're willing to have sex with everybody? Because the moment you actually cut off the receiving of something from somebody, be it sex, be it anger, be it like whatever they might choose, you cut off your awareness with that person. So if you have someone talking to you that you won't have sex with, that you're not willing to receive the energy of they desire to have sex with you, you have to cut off your awareness to it. I just got some awareness for myself right there. Neat.
Okay, so we have a comment from Timothy again.
Yes, Timothy. Since I can't tell what your picture looks like, but yeah, when you're in a group of women and you're the only man, I imagine you're a man. Shut up. It's everything will be way easier. Don't do what I do. I try to always get a word in. But if you're with two beautiful ladies, beautiful, kind, brilliant ladies like Shreya and Annie, they will like having you talk. So,
And be
be it.
grateful for it.
Yeah. Thank you for having me on, ladies.
So wait, I have a question. So sex here is actually copulation, right? Am I?
Well, so if one was to take, you can read the book, but when a person takes a foundation class, which Annie teaches us, so definitely don't go have a foundation class with Annie and ask her questions about this to force her to really become aware of what she knows about sex, because she probably knows a fuckload because she has had 4 children, for crying out loud. I mean,
No,
you're
I
looking
have
great.
three
Oh,
children
3.
and one
You're like, don't
adult
on the way.
child. Just kidding.
Oh, yes, of course. Every man's dream to be his wife's child. That was a joke. That was full on joke. Um, it's like there's elements of sex. So one is sexualness, which is the receiving. Another one is sexuality. Another one is copulation, where you're actually putting the body parts together. And then there's like a few others. Oh yeah, orgasm, sex, sexualness, sexuality, orgasm, and receiving. And then I think there might be 2 more. There's either 5 or 7.
I thought there was 5, but that's just how
Okay, there's
I
5. Then
remember
that's the
it.
5 right there.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Yeah, those are the elements of sex.
Okay, but wait, that still didn't like address what I'm asking. So when it's used sex here as a distractor implant, is it just copulation or is it all 5? Like, are we also using receiving as a distractor implant? Like,
Well, it's the same as what I said before.
so
How
you're not
much of this is a distractor implant?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
If
question
you
is
if you're
brilliant.
look Yeah, if you're looking at a person that you want to have sex with, how much of this is a distractor implant?
Wow.
Because most
Wow.
all of us most all of us. So there's this interesting. Brendan Watt just did a telecall called Winners.
It's a
Well, no, he just did a
no
telecall
count.
called No Counts.
Yeah.
So there's another thing that we talk about in foundation class called winners, losers, and no counts. The winners are the people that most all of us tend to go for. It's like, and they're the people that will judge us for everything we already judge ourselves for. And earlier when I said, oh my God, I just became aware of something, for me, it was that place of becoming aware of not being willing to perceive and being aware of the people that would like to have sex with me that don't judge me, at least not for the same judgment I have of myself. Like when someone looks at me and goes, oh my God, you're great and amazing, because I'm inside my head, I'm pretty darn good humanoid. I'm like, I'm terrible, I'm awful. And this person's like, wow, you're really cool. I'd like to have sex with you. I'm like, what? But if the person's like, oh my God, you're just actually normally it's the judgment of you're a total pervert and you like sex way too much and sex is bad and wrong. So I'm going to have sex with you now and then tell you about how bad and wrong you are for wanting to have sex. That was the old me. That was me in the past. God, that was really heavy. So is that mine or somebody else's? Oh, somebody else's. Okay, for all of you out there where that got really fucking heavy, we destroy and create that shit now.
Yes.
Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all night, shorts, boys, and beyonds.
Okay.
But, it's not your fault if you make yourself wrong for the sex that you'd like to have, or for having sex, or for the sex that you have had. It's looking at, what religion on this planet doesn't think sex is okay. I mean, thinks sex is okay.
I can't think of any.
Right. They're all like, it's terrible. The only time you can possibly have sex is if you might have a child, and you better fucking be married.
That's actually the reason why. Oh yeah, I fucked up there. Yeah, I got pregnant first and then married.
It's okay.
Nobody knows.
I don't judge.
Now they know.
Nobody. Now they do. But isn't that funny? It's like we've got this thing that a lot of us enjoy. It feels really fucking good. And when you do it with someone that it's absolutely fun with, it's like, wow, that was so great. And it can be nurturing for your body and honoring for you, and like really just make who's had sex where like you had morning sex? I'm saying mornings or the night before sex, and the next day you're like, I feel amazing. Yet religions are like, don't do it, it's bad. Yeah, because they don't want you to fucking feel good, because then they'd lose control over you. Everything that brought up tons of guys in industry, create all right, wrong, good, bad, bubble, my shorts, boys, guns. So it's like that's what sex is the sex is real sex. Like when we talk about it, is if you've had sex and the next day or that day afterwards you feel amazing, you're like, yeah, I just had sex. And then you like walk into some place and be like, here's a free lunch, and here's some money, and like the day just goes by like so amazing. You're like, oh my God, that's fantastic. Yeah, that's sex. Not just the copulation that you had with the other person. But what we tend to do, like I said before, is only get attracted to the people that will judge us for the same things we judge ourselves for. So when you have that attraction for a person show up, you want to go, how much of this is a distractor implant? Everything that is, times God's own destroying great, all right, wrong, about bubble, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And then you will start to, as you do that more and more and more, you may actually start to perceive and receive the people that don't judge you the way you judge you. Like when you're like, I'm terrible like this, and then they're like, no, you're fucking amazing. And then you're like, what? Really?
Wow.
But you won't have the same attraction for them. It'll be better. It won't have this like intensity to it. It'll have like space and ease and fun. Not like, oh my God, I need you. How much of that is a distractor plan? Times it goes in and right, wrong, about follow my choice with me on. But that's why I said earlier, like, how much of this is a distractor implant? Because it might be 10%. It might be 90%. Because it might be that you are with somebody that's, actually adores you and doesn't judge you and sees where you judge yourself and goes, oh, that's okay. I still adore you. I think you're amazing. Can we have sex now? Especially if they're a man. They're like, I don't care about how much you judge yourself. Can we have sex? And I'll just lick your body and pet it and touch it and I'll love it. But if you have that person and you have an attraction with them or something, you can say how much of this is a distractor implant and pock and pod what's there so that you can receive everything that they have to give. The good, the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly. All of it. Because I love it. I've done the thing too. And I've had friends where it's like I'm talking to them and they go, this person is a good person. Okay, what does that mean? Are you willing to see where they're not a good person? Are you willing to see where they are choosing what isn't going to work for you? Are you only willing to see where they're good in the same way that you have a good reality? Like, from what your point of view good is. Like, oh, well, they're good because they don't kick dogs. Okay. They're good because, they gave me money.
Wow.
But then you can go, I like hanging out with that person because they gave me money, but I don't want to hang out with them when they're doing this, or I don't want to hang out with them all the time because at this point in time, or if I hang out with them too long, then they're not fun to hang out with anymore.
Yeah. There's like conditions.
But how much do we do this thing where we're like, oh, I like this person, so I should always want to hang out with them. It's like,
instead of asking and choosing.
Yeah, I don't always want to drink Corona. I like drinking it a lot, but it's not always. I have vodka in the fridge too. I haven't drank that for days because I'm like, I don't want vodka right now. But I will want it again at some point in time. But if people were like that, like, I don't want to hang out with that person today. Why not? I just don't.
Yeah.
I will again in like 3 days. I had a cheeseburger last night. I can have a cheeseburger like once a week. I like the taste, but if I have more than one cheeseburger a week, I get like all like, oh. I have to like starve myself to desire a cheeseburger. Because typically I eat like a bird now. Sucks.
That's really
What do you
cool.
mean, like a bird?
They're like nothing. Oh yeah, I had like a Pop-Tart. Which I fucking love Pop-Tarts. I have s'mores Pop-Tarts.
Ooh, that's the best flavor.
Isn't it? Yeah. My fridge is pretty much filled with everything my mom wouldn't let me eat growing up. Which means there's a fuckload of sugar in there.
Cool. Wow. This, like, definitely, guys, don't listen to this over again because totally no value, no information at all.
None at all.
And no questions at all. That would create more.
Yeah. Well, I hope you ladies enjoy the rest of your evening. It's late there in the Virginia Beach. Yeah. Are you guys gonna go for a night walk on the sand?
That sounds like a
Actually
great
a good
idea.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's only,
Take a
it's
glass of
super close.
wine to go. Dig your toes in the sand.
Yeah.
You don't have
You
to
can
have sex
join
with
us in
each other
20
to have
hours.
sex on the beach in 20 hours. Yes,
No, I said you could join us
sounds
in
nice.
20 hours.
I could. That'd be great. Actually, I don't even have a car. I'd have to rent one.
You
So
can choose that.
send me your address and I'll look at it. I'll ask how much of it is a distractor implant that I want to go or that I don't want to go.
Great questions.
All great questions. Yep, there you go.
Yes.
All right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you so much, and thank you, everybody. So, once again, you can spend a whole month with Connor. Just get in touch with us if you would like to choose that. So, bye, everyone.
It's $50. 50
Oh,
United
yes,
States dollars.
only
So it's a really
$50.
bust in the pocket. I know. It's way too much. It's like changing your life cheaper than a cable bill, you know? Cable's more important.
And thank you. Nice to come across this while Facebook scrolling. So,
Thank you,
very
too.
grateful.
Thank you, Shreya. Thank you so much, Annie. And can't wait to see you guys again soon.
Okay.
Maybe
All right,
tomorrow, if you're unlucky.
Well,
How much of it is a
well,
distractor implant?
yes.
Yes.
So, bye,
That's the
everyone.
question.
Bye.
Bye.